welcome to Laura Catalina, where we will be sharing for 21 minutes. The idea is to realize how the books influence our personal stories and how these inspire our daily life. It's a relaxed and honest place, but most important, it's designed for us. So please make yourself comfortable, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Hello guys, how are you? Welcome to the first episode in English. I'm super excited, I'm super nervous, but most important, I'm really happy to be sharing this first episode with one of my flatmates, and she is also a really good friend of mine now. We had a really funny story of how we met. We met each other around like 6-7 months ago, and we discovered that we like to do some things together, like we love to sing. So we do some karaoke nights, and we also like to dance. She's really good dancing reggaeton. But then we also realized that we like also to have deeper conversations, and I shared to her that I was doing this podcast thing, and I said I would like to do some episodes in English because I mean most of them will be in Spanish, but I would like to get out my comfort zone and do something different. And she was excited about the project. She said, yeah, I would like to be one of your guests. So probably I said to her, would you like to be one of my guests? And she was like, oh, okay then. And then all of this started. She has a really nice book to share, an amazing story. So, well, she will tell you everything about it in a moment. And, well, Tessa, welcome to Laura Catalina. ¿Cómo estás, guapa?
Hola, muy bien.
Wow, look at your Spanish. It's so good.
I know, I had an amazing teacher.
So please let us know, Tessa, why this book? What do you want to share this book with the people?
All right, so the book that I chose is Highly Sensitive People in an Insensitive World.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds a bit negative, but it's actually not.
Okay.
um, I I am a highly sensitive person, and I live together with some very highly energetic Mexican girl, and this is my way to explain her how I feel sometimes, and
Mhm.
that's why.
Nice. Okay. And I think it's really interesting because when Tessa told me about this book, I was like, what? What is all this about? And she started to share her personal story with me. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. This is something I definitely want to share. And so I'm so excited to hear you, Tessa, and hear first your reading and then ready to hear your story. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go, guys.
Highly sensitive people in an insensitive world. Introvert or extrovert? Around 70% of highly sensitive people are introverts, but about 30% are extroverts. When I tell a client that I think he or she may be an introverted person, they will often argue against this. No, I can't be, because I'm not someone who just sits around and prefers to be on their own. The word introvert has almost become insulting. People associate it with someone who is unapproachable and does not care about others, but prefers to sit alone navel-gazing or lost in cyberspace. According to C.J. Young, an introverted person is someone who is more interested in the inner life than in the material world. This does not mean that they are exclusively interested in their own inner world. They may also be interested in the inner life of others. If you are an introvert, you will probably get bored quickly if people are talking about superficial and material things. You may find small talk exhausting, but are happy to take a conversation to a deeper level, preferably one-to-one or in a smaller group of people where there are shared interests. You are not keen on big groups, but will choose smaller gatherings that feel less demanding. If you are an extroverted, highly sensitive person, you will not spend all your time socializing. You will need time to withdraw and process inputs just like the introverted, highly sensitive person. Being highly sensitive is easily confused with introversion because the two traits do have some things in common. A rich inner life and a tendency to reflect deeply are things that C.J. Young described as part of being introverted. Neither introverts nor sensitive people have a need for a lot of external stimuli. They have a rich inner life and are nourished by their own thought processes and fantasies. They spend much more energy reflecting on and digesting inputs and experiences. It is apparent that some highly sensitive people can encompass the depth of introversion, but also be extroverted and feel comfortable in big groups. They are often people who have been raised as a part of a big family or been used to communal living at a school or in alternative lifestyles. Having many people around feels safe and familiar to them. Some highly sensitive people may become socially extroverted as a result of pressure from their surroundings. If you grew up in a family where you were only accepted when you were perky and outgoing, you would have found it necessary to adopt this behavior. It is easy to understand why 70% of highly sensitive people are introverts. Small groups are more accommodating to deep reflection, and you are not so easily overwhelmed in smaller contexts. To be highly sensitive and extroverted can be particularly challenging. It can be painfully frustrating for the sensitive extrovert when they are in the mood for much more socializing than their nervous system can handle. This is true for the sensitive introvert as well, though to a lesser degree. The pros and cons of typology. It is unlikely that anybody will be able to find a category into which they fit 100%. It would take as many categories as there are human beings. If you try to fit yourself into a specific category, you may end up excluding parts of your personality from your consciousness. When you identify with one specific type, you may confine yourself to a certain role and forget that you are also capable of growth and change. To describe people in terms of different types can help us realize how different human beings actually are. If we are not aware of this, it is easy to convince ourselves that everybody is like us. But then, when they do something in a different way, to us, we think that something is wrong. Before I became aware of different types, I often thought to myself that people who have a lot of energy and lead busy lives must be afraid of getting in touch with themselves. I thought they must be running away from something. Now I realize that they just function in ways that are very different to my ways of functioning. Extroverts who are not aware of differences in personality and traits may believe that introverts are reserved and self-observed, lacking interest in and not having time for others. If an introverted person prefers to sit alone one evening instead of spending it with an extroverted partner, that partner may start thinking that something is wrong because he is unable to understand how being on your own for a long time can be a pleasant thing to do. Being more aware of different types can be useful for many couples to help them understand each other.
Wow. First of all, I want to say that I love your voice because it's so calm. You know, you should be doing this, I don't know, meditation podcast or something like that. And I'm so impressed with like the last part, what it's saying that we really need to be like, you know, like more careful of what we said, that we should be like more kind with other people because we are all different. And I want to hear your story like now.
Okay, I will tell it now. So you said in the beginning that how we met was kind of funny and that we have some
Mhm.
things in common. Although now that we kind of realize we're very different in our personalities, we like to dance together, we like to sing together.
Mhm.
So I have this story about dancing. I always danced. When I was a little girl, I was
Mhm.
always dancing in my room alone. And I always thought it was very weird. So when my parents or my brother would come in or call me for dinner, I would
Mhm.
feel very, very ashamed. I'm like, oh my God, they caught me. And when I was reading this book, I actually realized that a lot of highly sensitive people, they use um, things like painting, drawing, reading, writing, and also dancing as a release of all the energy they felt during the day.
Okay.
And that just reminded being this kid or even a teenager and just dancing in my room alone all the time. And I loved it so much that
Mm-hmm.
I joined a theater group.
Wow.
And yeah, that was really fun.
Uh-huh.
But for some reason, the moment I would enter the stage, I would feel very self aware, I
Uh-huh.
would say. And the only thing that would keep me on that stage was realizing that there are lights pointed at me, so the audience can't see me, and I can't see
Yes.
the
Uh-huh.
audience. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes. Um, but I wouldn't dance as how I would dance in my room alone. I would make myself so small,
Mm-hmm.
hoping that nobody would see me, which is ridiculous because I'm on a stage, you know?
Yeah, of course. You're like spotlight, yay! I'm the best one.
And at some point, you grow older, you don't have time to dance anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
That's so
you,
sad.
because you have to work and you have other
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
responsibilities. So
totally.
I didn't have the space anymore to dance. And so recently I moved to New Zealand
Mm-hmm.
and there's so much happening around me. I meet so many new amazing people. And I work in hospitality as well, so I'm dealing with people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being a highly sensitive person and you get all these energies from people over you every day. Uh,
Crazy.
it is pretty crazy. And so I needed a release. And I thought, oh, you know what? I love dancing and I miss it so much. Maybe I should try it again. So one of my friends a few months ago, oh, let's go tango dancing. I said, great. Yeah, tango. It sounds like fun. Woohoo. What I didn't think about, tango is quite a passionate dance that you have to
Yes.
dance with two.
Really close to each other, really
Yes.
romantic thing. Uh-huh.
Which sounds lovely and nice. But if you're highly sensitive and like me,
Mm-hmm.
being so close to people and touch, there's a lot of energy coming in um, mentally as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggle with that a lot. And I've never really thought of that way. I just thought, I love to dance and that's amazing. But during that tango lesson, I just assumed, yeah, I'll dance with my friends, we'll be fine. But
Mm-hmm.
I was the lucky one and I got paired with this, well, relatively old, big
Uh-huh.
Russian man.
Okay, not your type. No, no, no.
Not really, no, but yeah, that doesn't really matter. um, being with a stranger who was
Mm-hmm.
clearly excited that he could dance with a 30-something-year-old lady.
Beautiful.
Uh, oh, thank you. um, it was quite intense, and I didn't feel very comfortable around it. There
Mm-hmm.
was so many strangers, and you could see there. I felt that there were other people in that room for the first time, and I could feel they were um, unsure as well, and so were my friends. And it just became this very awkward situation for me, feeling all these emotions of other people, but then
Mm-hmm.
also this Russian person, which honestly was quite disturbing at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, I don't really want to do this. This is not my thing.
Yeah.
I prefer to dance alone. The first few minutes in that class were just tango steps that you did alone, and I loved it. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that I got paired with someone, probably even if it was with anyone else in that room, I wouldn't have enjoyed it, because being so close to someone while you're dancing, that is for me so much energy you share that
Mhm.
I just get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And so I made up this joke. Sorry, I have to be somewhere. I gotta go. And I left
Uh,
the tango lesson
Just like that.
just
Poor
like that.
guy. Mm.
Yes. And actually, I realized it's okay. That is fine. I don't have to dance with someone.
Of
I'm
course.
perfectly happy with just dancing on my own. And so
Mhm.
then my lovely housemate, Laura, she loves to invite me to dance classes. And I said, yeah, totally. I love dance classes, but I'm sorry. Yo perreo sola.
Yo perreo sola. Tin, tin, tin,
Tin,
tin.
tin, tin,
Yes.
tin.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy because, for example, like Latinos, we are so used to dance with somebody else, you know? But to be honest, when you are dancing by yourself, it's so amazing. Once I remember that I went to a party with other flatmates. They are from Croatia, and when we were in this party, that it was like amazing, some gypsy party, and we were all dancing by ourselves, and it was amazing because you don't need anyone else, you know, to have that kind
No,
of fun, and because it's so liberating when you are dancing and releasing all that energy. It's cool. It's amazing. I agree with that.
yes.
Wow.
So yeah, that was my story of me suddenly realizing, okay, maybe dancing alone is enough release for me.
Hmm.
So when are we going out, Laura?
To dance alone. Yes, yes, we should organize something. There's a really thank you very much for sharing this story because I know it's really personal and there are like a lot of stories around. And this makes me think that probably there are a lot of people that we know that are highly sensitive person as well, and they don't know. So I think it's so interesting that we really need to look for these kind of topics and try to understand ourselves better, you know?
That would be so amazing. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And understand that we are all different. And as um, Jacinta says here, you know, be kind because we don't know what is happening in the other person's mind. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly that. It is so nice when you hear someone say, "Oh, sorry, I don't like that," or "That's not me." And instead of pushing them, "Oh, come on, you'll love it,"
Mm-hmm.
maybe they just really don't love it, and that's fine
We are
too.
all different. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
That's lovely.
Oh, that's
Well, I'm
so
so
nice.
oh, I'm so happy because Tessa is gonna share some writing because she loves to write as well as me. So Tessa is gonna be sharing this that she wrote at the beginning of this year, I think. So please pay a lot of attention because it's really lovely.
Oh, thank
Tessa.
you. So I wrote this because I realized that when I can't dance, there is something else that I really love to do to release all the energy that I felt throughout the day or deal with stuff when I'm overwhelmed. And so I wrote this on the 3rd of January this year. I like myself most when I'm reading, for I am soft. I am vulnerable. I cry, I rage, I laugh. Out of nowhere. In an instant, it leaves me full. I would say reading heals me in many ways. Ways I cannot when I'm present. Because when I read, I have tricked my mind in being quiet, in listening to my heart, my most deepest fears, my strongest desires, and my biggest hurt. Reading, my beautiful antidote for a life that's been lived and continues to dazzle me.
Wow, that was a really lovely reading. Tessa, really, thank you very much for sharing this because I know I don't know, probably right now it's easy to you, but probably at the beginning it wasn't that easy. So thank you very much, really. I want to tell you guys that when Tessa told me about this topic, I was like, really? This really exists? And then she sent me just like a test to see if I was a highly sensitive person. And I was doing the test and responding the question, and I was like, oh my God, really? People feel like that all the time? Because I got 5 points and she got 24. So I was so impressed. Sometimes we are just in our bubble, and we don't know how other people are feeling. And it's not that they are wrong or they are fine. It's so great to understand that. Even that we don't feel the same, or if you are not a highly sensitive person, probably your flatmate is like Tessa, or your partner,
Or your
no? So
partner. Yeah.
yes, if you are not, probably they are, or probably you are, and that's why they don't. Yes, you don't understand each other really well. Wow.
Yeah. I love very much that I was able to explain it bit more to you
Mhm.
and to the other flatmates. And it was actually really nice that we all had this conversation together and how okay, we made jokes about it, of course, because it's kind of
Yes.
funny in some way. But sometimes for me, it was really hard to pass on an invitation if any of my other flatmates would ask me out, like, "Oh, do you want to go for drinks?" And I'll be like, "Not really, because I'm a bit tired." And I don't know. Now I feel less guilty.
Yes. No, and at the end it's a decision. You're allowed to say yes, or you're allowed to say no. That's, yeah, of course.
Mhm.
And yes, no. I think this can really change your life, the way we see other people and the way we see ourselves, because probably you are a highly sensitive person and you don't know. So probably now it's the moment to know. We're gonna leave the test in my Instagram so you can check it out and see if you're a highly sensitive person, and yes,
Tell
start to
us
see
your
what.
scores, please. I would love to know.
Tell, yes, please tell us your scores. We can start like a Facebook group or something. And so Tessa, just to like a conclusion, what are the things that you do like to feel better when you are like feeling overwhelming with all these things, yes, that are happening in your mind all the time?
Music. Music helps a lot. I like to just put in my earplugs and listen to music that I like. It really
Hmm.
calms me. And yeah, that's one thing that I always do.
Nice. Well, thank you very much. This I hope you like it, guys. And well, we will see each other. Well, we hear again. Hopefully in another podcast in English. This was the first one. It was so nice. So gracias, Tessa, otra vez. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Te quiero mucho.
Oh, yo también te quiero mucho a ti. Mm. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Mwah.